Okay, so we're going to do question 5.15, which is about a perfect complement reference. So we are having a utility in the form of minimum of the value of the two roots. Okay, so the perfect complement case where the utility between b and c would just be equal to the minimum between the value of bb times b or vc times c. Okay, so whichever smaller, that is going to be the value of the utility. So in question 5.15 is telling you that bb equal to 2 and vc is equal to 9. Alright, so part A asking you to calculate the total utility obtained from the bundles x, y, and z, where x is having 9 units of b and 2 units of c. Okay, so therefore the utility in this case of bundle x is just going to be equal to the minimum between vb, which is 2, times b, which is equal to 9 in this case, and vc, which is equal to 9, times the amount of c, which is equal to 2. Okay, so the minimum, so that is just going to be equal to the minimum of 18 and 18, which is equal to 18. Alright, so very similarly, we're going to do exactly the same thing for bundle y and z. So bundle y including 18 units of x and 3 units of y. So therefore, the utility of bundle y is the minimum between 2 times 18 and 9 times 3. Now 2 times 18 is 36 and 9 times 3 is 27. Okay, so minimum between 36 and 27 is 27. And bundle Z is including 45 units of wood X and 12 units of wood Y. So therefore, the utility corresponding to this Z bundle is minimum between 2 times 45 and 9 times 12. Okay, so that it's just the minimum between 45 times 2 is 90, and 9 times 12, which is 108. Okay, so that is going to give you 90. Alright, so part B asking you for each of these 3 bundles, what would be the increase in utility from adding to the consumption bundle 1 loaf of bread? Okay, so part 1, that we having 1 more loaf of bread, so the amount of B is going to be increased by 1 unit. Okay, so for bundle X, that is going now become 10 units of B and 2 units of C. Okay, so therefore again we're just going to do the same thing to find a utility level corresponding to the new bundle after increasing 1 more units of bread. So that's become minimum of 2 times 10 and 9 times 2, and that is just going to be the minimum between 20 and 18, so it's still going to be equal to 18. Alright, now for bundle Y, bread is now become 19 and we still have 3 units of cheese. Okay, so UY is the minimum between 2 times 19 and 9 times 3, so that's the minimum between 38 and 27, and so therefore it's still going to be equal to 27. And bundle Z is now become 46 units of B and still 12 units of C, because it doesn't change the amount of cheese. So therefore the utility corresponding to this bundle Z is the minimum between 2 times 46 and 9 times 12, which is the minimum between, so 2 times 46 is 92, and that is 108 still, so that's become 92. Okay, so as you can see, for bundle X and Y, the utility remain the same, okay, because they are still 18 and 27 after the increase in the breadth. However, for bundle Z, we have an increase in the utility by 2 units after the increase in 1 unit of breadth. Okay, so utility of X and Y remain the same. Y utility of Z, okay, increases by 2. Okay, now the second case is where we're adding 1 more kilo of cheese. However, we do not have anything change in the amount breadth. Okay, so adding cheese is separate, is not consecutive to adding bread. So this is just a separate case where we're only increasing 1 kilo of cheese and we got nothing change in the amount breadth. Okay, so therefore the bundle axis now is going to continue to include 9 units of bread, just like from the original amount, and 3 units of cheese instead of 2. Okay, so therefore the utility of X is now become a minimum between 2 times 9 still and 9 times 3. Okay, so which is the minimum between 18 and 27, which is still gonna be equal to 18. Okay, for bundle Y, it's now gonna be including still 18 units of bread and 4 units of cheese. So UY is going to be minimum of 2 times 18 and 9 times 4. So that is the minimum between 36 and 36, and that is going to be 36. While for the bundle Z, we're still having 45 units of bread and 13 now units of cheese, because we have 1 more kilo of cheese. So the utility of bundle Z is just the minimum between 2 times 45 and 9 times 13. So that is just the minimum of 90 and 117. So that's just going to be 90. So as you see, compared to the original utility, the bundle X utility remain the same, which is 18. Bundle Z utility remain the same, which is 90. Okay, and the only thing difference is now the utility of Y. Okay, so we confirm that UX and Z remain the same. Okay, UY increases. So it's basically increasing from 27 to 36, and that is just 9 units. Okay, so increasing 1 kilo of cheese is going to increase the utility by 9. Increase the value of the utility by 9. Okay, because the value of cheese is 9. Okay, so part C asking you, now beginning from bundle X, explain how utility changes as more and more bread is added to the consumption bundle while the amount of cheese is held constant. Okay, so we are going to use bundle X, the original one, which is including 9 units of bread and 2 units of cheese. Now it's more and more bread is added, so the utility of this is 18. Now as more and more bread is added to the consumption bundle while cheese amount remain the same, how's that going to change the utility? Okay, so as you can see, I'll just say let little x, okay, be the extra amount of bread, okay, added to the consumption bundle X. Okay, so now X becomes 9 plus X, okay, which is the original 9 units of bread plus any extra units of bread that we want to add to the consumption bundle, and we got 2 units of cheese that is going to remain the same. Okay, and we want to find out what is the utility of the bundle X. So I'll say X dash. Okay, so utility of X dash is going to be so that is just going to be the minimum between the value of bread, which is 2 times 9 plus X, and the values of cheese, which is 9 times 2. And that is just going to be the minimum of, so this is just 18 plus 2x, and this is just 18. Okay, now so the minimum of 18 plus 2x and 18 is always going to be 18. Okay, given that x is a positive amount, so we know it's an extra amount, so x is positive. Okay, so this number is always going to be bigger than this number, so 18 plus any positive number is bigger than 18, so the minimum is going to be 18. So as you can see, it doesn't matter how much more bread you are adding to the consumption bundle, it doesn't change the utility level. Okay, so the utility level of the new bundle is still going to be exactly the same as the utility of the original bundle. Okay, it doesn't matter how much x you want to add into here, it's just going to be the same. Okay, so we conclude that utility doesn't change, okay, when more bread is added, more and more bread is added, okay, without adding any more cheese. Okay, so if you are keeping cheese amount constant, or I would say given, okay, so holding cheese okay, and number 2, okay, so this is number 1. Alright, and number 2 is asking you what happened to the utility level when you are adding more and more cheese to the consumption bundle X, while the amount of bread is held constant. Okay, so this is the case where bread is constant, however we're adding more cheese. Okay, so I would again let y, or I'll let okay, y, right, be the amount or the extra amount of cheese that is going to be added to the consumption bundle X. Okay, so therefore the new consumption bundle X dash is going to be again 9 units of bread, that is going to remain the same, and 2 units of cheese. Now we're having extra amount, which is y. Okay, so that is our new consumption bundle, and so the utility of this bundle is going to be the minimum between the value of bread, which is 2 times 9, and the values of cheese, which is 9 times 2 plus y, and that is just going to be the minimum between 18, and if you expand this, it's going to give you 18 plus 9y. Okay, so given that y is positive, okay, which is the extra amount, 18 plus 9y is always going to be bigger than 18, so the minimum of this is going to be 18. Alright, so again, as you can see, the utility level is exactly the same as for the original consumption bundle X. So utility doesn't change. Okay, when more cheese is added to the consumption bundle. Alright, holding the amount of bread constant. Okay, so part D asking you to use your answers to the previous questions to sketch the indifferent curve passing through bundle X. Okay, so we know that bundle X, at bundle X we have a utility of 18, and by adding more cheese or adding more bread, it is not going to change the utility. So we know that, okay, sorry, I should say this one is X double dash. Just to differentiate between the previous X dash bundle where it's a different bundle. Okay, so now, so as you can see, bundle X has a utility of 18, bundle X dash has a utility of 18, bundle X double dash has a utility of 18. So we know that all of these bundles are going to be on the same indifferent curve, okay, because they're having the same utility. So I'm just going to draw that on a diagram over here for the indifferent curve. Okay, so I just have this. Alright, so I got B on the horizontal and C on the vertical again, which is the normal case, and 0 here. Okay. Alright, so now I got 9 units of bread and 2 units of cheese. So I would say this is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and 2 units of cheese. 1, 2. Okay, so this is the original consumption bundle X. Okay, now we want to draw some X dash, which is a consumption bundle including more bread but the same amount of cheese. Okay, so same amount of cheese, which is 2 units, so it's going to be the same here. However, we want more bread. Okay, it doesn't matter how much more, say 10 units, 11 units, 12 units, this is fine. So we'll just say I got 10 over here. Okay, so so my bundle X dash can be anything. Just say 1 more units of bread is going to be this point over here. Okay, so this is my bundle X. Okay, and this is going to be my bundle X dash, or X dash can be like here, which is add another 2 units of bread, okay, with the same amount of cheese, which is 2 units. So as you can see, it's going to be like here. Okay, so anywhere can be X dash. Okay, so long as you keep the same amount of cheese, however you have more bread. Okay, so any of these bundle along the horizontal line is going to be can be represented by X dash. Okay, and bundle X double dash is going to have the same amount of bread, which is 9 units, however more units of cheese. I would say like 3, 4, 5. Okay, all of them can be represented by X double dash. Okay, so long as they have more cheese and the same amount of bread, which is 9 units, so something like this, okay, which is X double dash, or 4 units of cheese, then it's going to be this bundle over here with 9 units of bread. So here, Okay, so any of these bundles is going to satisfy the requirement of x double dash. Okay, now as you can see, all of these bundles having the same UTD of 18. Okay, so they should be on the same indifferent curve. So if you're looking at this, you can see sort of roughly that the indifferent curve is going to be having an L shape. Okay, so if I use a straight line, I connect all of these points together, then you can see that anything on a horizontal over here is going to be on the same indifferent curve, isn't it? Because it's just having the same amount of cheese. However, any more extra units of bread doesn't matter, it is going to give you the same utility. And very similar on a vertical. So long as you have the same amount of bread, doesn't matter how much, it doesn't matter how much cheese you are adding to your consumption bundle, it's just going to give you the same utility. So it's just going to be a vertical line like this. Okay, so anything on the vertical line is going to be giving you the same utility as bundle X. So this is my indifferent curve corresponding to a utility level of 80. Okay, so that's it, the indifferent curve passing through point X. And it asking you, the second part, asking you to sketch a reference map showing all the indifferent curves on which bundle X, Y, and Z lie. Okay, so we're done drawing an indifferent curve for bundle X. Okay, now another thing I would like to mention is the marginal array of substitution along in this indifferent curve. Okay, this is just an extra information that I would just want you to get familiar with. Okay, so as you can see, we have an L-shaped curve over here. So the marginal rate of substitution, which is the slope of the indifferent curve, how's that going to be changing along the indifferent curve? Okay, so we're talking about a marginal rate of substitution. Okay, so now marginal rate of substitution along this indifferent curve has 3 different values. Okay, so first of all, we're talking about a vertical fragment of the indifferent curve. So the vertical section of the indifferent curve is having a marginal rate of substitution, or the slope of infinite. Okay, so now the reason for that is because, so we got over here the marginal rate of substitution is equal to infinite, and so the reason for that is because we know that marginal rate of substitution is the slope of the indifferent curve, which measures how if you're increasing one consumption of 1 unit on a horizontal, how many units on a vertical you will have to sacrifice to keep the consumer, or to keep you on the same level of utility. Okay, so as you can see, if we want to find a marginal rate of substitution, we actually move from one point to the other point on that curve. Okay, and then we see by having a very small movement, and we want to see what is the change from, if we were moving from one point to the other, what is the change in the consumption I would see. So as you can see from here, as we move from one point to the other along the vertical section of the indifferent curve, B is not changing. Okay, so the horizontal variable remains the same. So basically the idea is that marginal rate of substitution is the change in C given the change in B. Okay, so that is just the slope of the indifferent curve. Now for the vertical section of the indifferent curve, okay, as you can see, when I move from one point to the other, dB is going to be equal to 0. We do not have any change in the B value. Okay, and so therefore, if the denominator is equal to 0, then dC on dB is going to be equal to infinite. So if something divided by 0 is going to be equal to infinite. Okay, so if anyone remember, when you study the slope of the line, the slope of the vertical line is going to be infinite. Okay, so we have infinity marginal rate of substitution along the vertical part of the indifferent curve. Okay, now along the horizontal part, so the horizontal section of the indifferent curve, which is along here. Okay, again, if I move from one point, say from this point to this point over here, okay, and I try to find the slope of the line, then as you can see, if we move from one point to the other, we do not have any change in the values of C. So dc in this case equal to 0. Okay, so the change in C is equal to 0. So therefore, dc on db is going to be equal to 0. Alright, so the slope along the horizontal section of the indifferent curve is going to be equal to 0, or the marginal rate of substitution is 0 for the horizontal section of the indifferent curve. Okay, and the last bit is the vertex over here, which is the kin point, which is the corner over here. Now at the corner, it's only like 1 point, so there isn't anything changed. Okay, around that point, so we say that at the vertex or the kin point, then the marginal rate of substitution or the slope at that point is just going to be undefined. Okay, because it's just only 1 point, so there's no way to define the slope of the line because it's just one specific point. Okay, so therefore the marginal rate of substitution is undefined at this point. Okay, so we got 3 different values for the marginal rate of substitution along the indifferent curve for a perfect complement case. Okay, so which is what I want to mention. Alright, so the second part is just asking you to draw 2 more indifferent curves going through bundle Y and Z. Okay, so we're going to just do that here. So we got bundle Y, which is including, sorry, I just have to go back, 18 units of bread and 3 units of cheese. Okay, and so the utility for this is equal to the minimum between 36 and 27, I said, okay, which is equal to 27. Alright. Now, in order to find the indifferent curve going through this bundle, we would just have to find out a few different bundles that is going to have exactly the same utility. Okay, and so they are going to be on the indifferent curve. Okay, so as we found earlier, bundle bundle Y is having utility of 27, which is here. Okay, and the bundle in the second part, which is, so I'll call this is X2, Y2, Z2. Okay, just to differentiate, so this is X3, Y3, and Z3. Okay, okay, so we can see that bundle Y2, including 19 units of bread, okay, and 3 units of cheese, is going to give the consumer exactly the same utility 27 as bundle Y. Okay, so we know that these 2 bundles are lying on the same indifferent curve. Okay, so I'm going to draw that on a diagram first. So bundle Y, including 18 units of bread and 3 units of cheese. Okay, so I would have a little diagram over here. Okay, on the vertical I have cheese, and on the horizontal I have bread, 0. Okay, and I have 18 and 3, so I would say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Sorry, I would just have to make it a little bit longer. So 16, 17, and 18. Okay. Let's make it a lot longer. Okay, so this is bread. Right, so the first bundle including 18 units of bread and 3 units of cheese, so 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so this is my first bundle. Okay, so this is bundle Y. Now the second bundle is where you're increasing 1 unit of bread and keeping the units of cheese the same. So 3 units of cheese and 1 more unit of bread, which is 19 over here. And we know that that is going to stay on the same indifferent curve as the original Y bundle. Okay, so this is another point. Now if you keep the amount of cheese the same, which is 3, and you keep increasing the amount of bread over 18 units, it's just going to give you exactly the same UTD of 27. Okay, so if you got 20 units of bread, 21 units of bread, 23 units of bread, doesn't matter how many, so long as you're keeping cheese at 3 units, it is just going to give you a UTD of 27. Okay, because the 27 is the minimum between the two values if you keep increasing the value of bread. Okay, so we know that any point on the horizon to the right of bundle Y is going to be on the same indifferent curve as bundle Y. Okay, alright, so we know that anything on the horizontal to the right of bundle Y is going to be on the same indifferent curve as bundle Y. Okay, now is bundle Y the vertex of the indifferent curve, or is it the king point of the indifferent curve or not? Okay, now so basically, in other words, is there any bundle to the left of bundle Y that is going to be on the same indifferent curve as bundle Y? Okay, so we'll be asking ourselves, if we keep the amount of cheese at 3 units, what is going to be the minimum of bread that need to be in order for that bundle to be on the same level of indifferent curve as bundle Y? Okay, so basically we want to find a point on the horizontal line to the left of bundle Y such that that bundle is also on the indifferent curve as bundle Y. Okay, so we want to find a vertex point or the kin point. Alright, so we'll be asking ourselves, so we got the UTD level of B and C, okay, equal to 2, B, and 9C. Okay, now for bundle Y, so if we keep the cheese level at 3, okay, so given that C equal to 3 such that 9 times 3 is going to be 27. Okay, then we got the UT level of B and C equal to, the minimum between 2B and 9 times 3, which is 27. Okay, so the minimum between 2B and 27. So in order for the UTD to be equal to 27, then these values of 2B will have to be equal to 27 or bigger than 27, because if it's smaller than 27, then it's going to reduce the UTD level. Okay, so we say in order for the UTD equal to 27, then the value 2B has to be bigger or maximum, or at least equal to 27. Okay, because if it is smaller than 27, then the UTD is going to be equal to that smaller value, which is not 27 anymore. Okay, which is not what the indifferent curve that we want to talk about. Okay, so therefore the value of B so B has to be bigger or equal to 27 on 2, which is 13.5. Okay, so the minimum value of B so B minimum is going to be equal to 13.3, such that this bundle is going to be on the same indifferent curve as bundle Y. So if B is smaller than this value, then we are going to have a smaller utility which is not on the same indifferent curve as bundle Y anymore. Okay, so therefore so if we keep the level of cheese at 3 units, then the minimum value for B is going to be 13.3. So this is 17, 16, 15, 14, and this is 13. Okay, so 13.5 is here. Okay, and 3 levels of cheese. So this bundle over here is going to be the minimum bundle on the left of bundle Y, so we can't go any further to the left, okay, because if you go further to the left, B is going to be smaller than the 13.3, and therefore we are going to be on a lower utility level, so we're not on the same indifferent curve anymore. Okay, so any point to the right of this red point over here on horizontal at 3 units of cheese is going to be on the same indifferent curve as bundle Y over here. Okay, so, alright, so we can't go any further to the left. Okay, and so now so we know that if we keep the level of B at 13.5, okay, so I'll say now, given that B equal to 13.5, then the utility of B and C equal to the minimum between 2 times 13.5 and 9C, which is the minimum between 27 and 9C. So as you can see, for any values of C that is bigger than 3, okay, then we are going to be on the same level of indifferent curve at the utility level of 27. Okay, so for any C bigger or equal to 3, then we got the utility level is going to be equal to the minimum between 27, okay, and something bigger or equal to 27, and that is going to give you a 27 as a utility level. Okay, so that is basically showing you that any bundle with B equal to 13.5 and C is bigger or equal to 3 will lie on the same indifferent curve as bundle Y, because it has a utility level of 27. Okay, will lie on the same indifferent curve, okay, as bundle Y. Alright, so this is basically the vertex point or the kin point. Okay, and so so if we keep the level B at 13.5, any C from 3 and above is going to be, so for example, C equal to 4, C equal to 5, etc. Okay, any of these is going to be staying on the same level of indifferent curve as bundle Y at the utility level of 27. So this point, etc. Okay, so that is going to give you the indifferent curve, which is horizontal going all the way from the vertex point, and vertical going all the way up from the vertex point. Sorry. Okay, I should do this first and then I'll go there. Alright, so anything going up, okay, so anything going up from here going all the way up. Alright, so this is our indifferent curve with the level of utility of 27. Okay, and that is going through bundle Y. And how about bundle Z? Okay, so we're going to do exactly the same thing. Now if we are looking back at our bundle Z over here, which is 45 units of X and 12 units of Y with a utility of 90, okay, and we can see that bundle Z3 is having the same utility of 90 as well. So if we keep the same level of again 45 units of bread and increasing units of cheese, that is going to give us the same amount of utility. So we are going to do exactly the same thing as for bundle Y. Okay. Alright, so bundle Z is including 45 units of X and 12 units of Y with a utility of 90. Okay, so we're going to draw that on a diagram. Again, I will have C on a vertical, I have B on a horizontal, and I have 0 over here. Okay, so what I got is 45, so I got 5, say 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and 45. Okay, and 12, so I just have so 4, 8, and 12. Okay, so my first bundle is going to be here at 45 units of bread and 12 units of cheese, okay, which is here. So this is my bundle Z. Okay, and we know from the previous part that a bundle with 45 units of bread and 13 units of cheese is going to give us exactly the same utility. Okay, so we know that the utility B and C, again, it's just the minimum between 2B and 9C. Okay, so we want to show that if we keep, okay, so given that C equal to 12, so if we want to keep the same amount of cheese, sorry, if we want to keep the same amount of B, because we know, okay, so we do the vertical first. Okay, so if we keep the same amount of B at 45, then we got the utility level is equal to the minimum between 2 times 45 and 9C, which is the minimum between 90 and 9C. Okay, so in order to keep the same level of utility at 90, because that is the level of utility of bundle Z. Okay, so okay, so in order for the utility equal to 90, then we know that the number 9C over here, it has to be bigger or at least equal to 90, because if it is smaller than 90, then the minimum will be equal to a smaller value, which is not 90 anymore, which is not the indifferent curve that is going through bundle Z anymore. Okay, so therefore we want 9C to be bigger or at least equal to 90. Okay, so we know that we want C to be bigger or at least equal to 10. Okay, in order for the bundles to be on the same indifferent curve as bundle Z. Okay, so I would say for any bundles, okay, with B equal to 45 and C equal to bigger than 10, they will lie on the same indifferent curve as bundle Z. Okay, they will be on the same okay, indifferent curve as okay bundle Z. So we're just going to draw that. So I got C anything bigger than or equal to 10. Okay, so I got 12 over here. So that is going to be 10 somewhere in between. Okay, so if I keep B at 45 and C, the minimum it has to be equal to 10, which is this bundle over here. Okay, and anything above 10 is going to be 5. So I say 15, or so this is 16 for example. So I got another bundle where B equal to 45, C equal to 16. If you substitute the number into our utility function, you can see that the utility is going to be equal to 90, which is fine. Okay, so or anything etc above is going to be 5, so any of these. Okay, so therefore any of the point from this point onwards, going all the way up to the vertical is going to be on the same indifferent curve. So okay, so if we connect all of these points together, we're gonna get the first part of the indifferent curve. So anything going from the lowest point all the way up. Okay, so that is part of the indifferent curve. Now for the horizontal part. Okay, so given that we keep the values of C at 10, which is basically the vertex point, okay, and we want to see what is going to be the value of B such that it's going to give the same utility. So we know that the B is anything up to the right of the bundle. I should clear that. Okay, so this is bundle Z over here. Okay. Alright, so if I keep, so I given that B equal to 10, sorry, C equal to 10, then the utility level is going to be equal to the minimum between 2B and 9 times 10, which is the minimum between 2B and 90. Okay, so in order for the utility to be equal to 90, we know that the 2B, it has to be bigger or at least equal to 90. Okay, because if it is smaller than 90, then the utility level is going to be smaller. It's not going to be equal to 2B, so equal to 90 anymore. So therefore B has to be bigger or equal to 45. Okay, so we know that for any bundle okay, with C equal to 10, then B has to be bigger or equal to 45 to be on the same level of indifferent curve as bundle Z. Okay, so they will be on the same indifferent curve, okay, as bundle Z. So in terms of the diagram, is going to be, so C equal to 10, which is here, and anything to the right of B equal to 45 is going to be on the same indifferent curve. Okay, so in terms of a diagram, it's going to just be the horizontal part going from 45. So any of the bundles on this horizontal line corresponding to any value of B bigger than 45 is going to be on the same indifferent curve. So this is the indifferent curve level, indifferent curve going through point Z with a level of utility of 90.